guaranteed to stay profits.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 million man.
Hey, this is Bob Backlund. Hey, everyone, this is Rick Steiner.
This is the Honky Tonk Man, the greatest WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time.
This is your wrestling show, Ottawa.
Heck, they could use you guys over in WWE.
You're listening to the greatest wrestling show in the whole wide world.
This is Wrestling with Ideas.
Welcome inside the CKDJ studios for Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music. I'm the man they call Gibby, Zach McGibbon. Alongside me is the music man, Colin Scully, and returning from last week, going on to this week now, the man with no excuses, Jonathan Skuce, is back on the program.
Yeah, that man with no excuses, or at least that's what the t-shirt says.
Yeah, you went out and have your own merch.
I've had this merch since before I was on the show, so now I get to wear it with pride because my name is out there now.
Yeah, there you go. But you got merch now. Well, I mean, you always have
I got
merch.
kids. No, I don't have kids.
Yeah, no. Got to make some of that money. And, of course, welcome back, Colin Scully. You actually, later on before we get everything going here, you actually conducted the interview with Mark AP this week. Gave you that reign. How did that interview go? And
That interview went. I am honestly happy. Like, that interview was the happiest that I've been after an interview.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's because this is Wrestling with Ideas and not the Parts Unknown WrestleCast, I don't know. But well, maybe it was just because I was thinking of you, Gibby.
Well, there you go. Now you're trying to get a spot and you're trying to kiss butt here, and I understand. I get it. But no, he did a great job on the interview. That's going to be playing on later today. It's going to clear up some of the news, or the rumor and innuendo, as some may say, on why did C4 Wrestling move venues. There's a lot of people wondering why did you guys move? And so we cleared that up in that interview as well. Yep. And of course, talking the upcoming show, what to expect as well. Also, a little bit of a plug early just for our social media stuff. You can also see the exclusive video that Sheldon Jean had sent us, hyping up his upcoming six-man scramble match.
I would like to say for the record, I had tweeted Sheldon Jean last night what his thoughts were, asking him for his thoughts on his six-man scramble match, and he guarantees a win on Friday.
Guarantees a win. Wow. Well, there you go. That's a guarantee right there. Also, too, just want to give another thanks to Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling for sending me out and doing some commentary. Got to work with Adam Belanger from he's commentated a bunch of different promotions, NSPW, C4 Wrestling, obviously here, a bunch of different promotions. So it was awesome to work with him, and got some good audio out of that as well. And also, too, one of the things we'll have to talk about as well. Initially, we were promoting the Ken Shamrock interview for this week. And we were actually scheduled to do the interview on Monday. Then it got pushed back, not of my choice. It was something on the end of Shamrock, something that came up on his end, and that's fine. That's totally cool. And then there was a miscommunication on what the time was going to be on Tuesday. So we've organized a time. The Ken Shamrock interview will be taking place next week. Okay. So if anyone was coming in looking for the Ken Shamrock interview, that's going to be taking place next week. Of course, he's going to be here in Ottawa on June 5th at Yuck Yuck. So that's going to be that's going to be an interesting time. A UFC Hall of Famer, obviously, WWE Intercontinental Champion. So that's what's going on there. But of course, we still have our Mark AP interview, and I think a lot of people are interested about that one as well, especially with this week being the They Live show, the new venue. Yeah, the
show at the new venue.
Yeah, the new venue that's going on. So lots going on there. So without further ado, let's get straight into the news. And the first thing we're going to talk about here, did you hear that Smackdown got a nice little deal there?
I did hear this. It was when the news broke out. I was very excited for, what was it, $1 billion?
$1 billion. The B brand, but the B stands for billion, as you mentioned.
Absolutely.
Taking your gimmick a little bit there, Skuce, but I liked it.
Gimmick infringement.
It
but
was
the most important thing here is that SmackDown Live going to the Fox
The Fox.
The Fox Network.
Fox.
The main Fox channel. This isn't Fox Sports 1 like a lot of people were expecting it to show up on.
It's Fox?
Oh, it's Fox.
Damn.
There you go.
There you go.
We this is why you listen to Wrestling with Ideas for more clarifications. No, this isn't
Smackdown.
Fox Sports 1. This is Fox.
The Fox, and it is also going to take an effect fall of 2019. The TV deal takes effect, and I think that they're saying that it's going to be a Friday night show whenever it takes an effect.
So some of the rumors going on right now, multiple different sources, The Wrap, Variety, I think, and also The Hollywood Reporter, which had previously been working on the television deals. ESPN was the first one to break it. But yes, so SmackDown achieved a 5-year deal worth over $1 billion over those 5 years. And they were saying that it's $205 million a year. And there was a source that was coming out that's saying that SmackDown was going to move to Fridays. And this is a huge deal. Like, just in terms of right now, like what's going on right now for WWE in terms of money making, on this current deal, they're making $180 million. Just total.
Oh, absolutely.
So SmackDown's getting 205. Now, there's rumors that Raw's going to have their value tripled. NBC is working hard to keep Raw on their networks, but I believe Fox will make a big push to get that brand on their network as well. But
you were talking about how they were going to try and get different networks for the brand split.
Well, yes.
Right?
Well, yes, that's what we're saying. Like different.
But Fox having both Raw and SmackDown?
There's a potential there. Like they're interested in it. Like Fox would still be interested in getting Raw because you want to have. Fox has been interested in WWE just overall for quite a while,
right?
And the SmackDown deal shows that they're willing to get some WWE content.
Right
now, it sounds like it's probably going to be different networks. I don't think it's all going to be on Fox, but don't be surprised, in my opinion, if that happens. Now, the question, there's a lot of questions on everybody's mind about SmackDown. First thing I want to say right away, I would be shocked if this is a taped SmackDown.
Oh, absolutely.
Shocked. Absolutely shocked. If you look at the television landscape right now, just the landscape of TV in the States right now, the thing that really a lot of the big TV networks are looking for are live content.
Right.
That's the one thing they have the advantage over these new platforms like Netflix and Hulu and whatever.
They can bring you something as it happens. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're looking for. They want to try and get as much people in for live content as opposed to taped content. And we're already seeing with these streaming services like a Netflix, like a Hulu, even the WWE Network, you just get taped content on there. Like people are willing to watch the taped content at a later date.
Yeah.
Like they've shown this, right? There's not a desire anymore to be the first one to see it at 8 o'clock. It's more like, oh, well, I got to go to work. I can watch it on my phone, right? So the one thing that they can try and get is the live content where it's as it's happening. So I would be absolutely shocked if Fox paid $205 million for a taped show.
Exactly.
Because I think that would be a really bad investment on their part. Yeah. But that's my thoughts. What about you? Do you think you could see SmackDown going to back to a tape format?
I hope not.
I hope not too.
I hope not, just because it would make it that much more exciting.
Yeah.
Because if you have Raw, like Raw is making arguably more money right now.
Yeah.
Than SmackDown.
Well, if we're just taking like the current deal that they're on, yes, Raw's and it's going to continue to make more money than SmackDown.
Right.
It's a staple show. It's a flagship.
Yeah, it's a flagship.
Right.
It's the longest running weekly episodic television show in history.
Absolutely. And SmackDown has always been sort of the bounce around.
Yeah.
Like we've had SmackDown on Wednesday nights before. We've had it on Thursday nights before. Going to Friday. It shouldn't hurt it being live or anything like that.
I honestly can't wait for it to go back to being Friday night SmackDown.
Yeah.
Just because that just, as a wrestling fan, not even as a wrestling whatever I am right now.
Yeah.
As a wrestling fan who just sits at home and watches it, it just feels right.
Yeah.
To
have
hear
some
the
breathing
words
space.
Friday night SmackDown.
Yeah. Instead of like Thursday night SmackDown.
Or Tuesday night. They just
well, it's SmackDown Live, right? But they don't hype up that it's on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'd be absolutely shocked because live content is the thing right now for these big TV networks. I mean, you look at the NFL and what they're trying to bring in for their streaming rights. NBA, the UFC just had a television deal with ESPN, and so it's all about the live stuff, baby. Always got to go for that live content.
We're live.
But one of the things I think is interesting that not a lot of people are talking about, and this is something I want to bring up. Under the original deal with NBC Universal, under the original deal, when they would broadcast Raw over the USA Network, it would take 30 days before that Raw would go up onto the WWE Network.
Yes, I just heard about this the other day too.
So my question is that I don't think a lot of people are asking is, does this new deal with Fox allow them to be like, we'll play SmackDown on Friday, and then as soon as that airs, like, is it going to be the same thing where it takes 30 days for SmackDown to go online? Because I think that could be an enticement for some people. If they don't desire to be live, to watch the live SmackDown, and they have the network, it's like, well, I can watch SmackDown the next day on the WWE Network, and it's not like it's going to drive up network subscribers like crazy.
No,
but it would entice some people to subscribe there and be like, oh, well, that could be interesting.
You're also forgetting with Fox and a lot of their content that they have, that they also offer like, oh, did you miss this week's episode of The Simpsons? Come on to Fox.com and catch up.
Right.
So you have to think, I don't know if they'll get the rights to broadcast SmackDown on their website.
Yeah.
But it could be that they air it for a week on their website, that you can go back and watch it for 1 week, and then after 1 week it's been on, then it's on the network perhaps.
Yeah.
One question that I have, kind of as a joke, with SmackDown going to Fox, are we going to see any WWE Simpsons crossovers?
Probably.
Oh, Camp WWE, no doubt.
Oh my goodness, that'd be amazing.
Bart Simpson on Camp WWE.
Well, you got to get it while it's hot though, because The Simpsons is going to be done after their 30th season. They've confirmed.
Yeah,
and it's next.
I mean, it's been like, like 20 seasons too long, but whatever.
Yeah, well, we can get in that in a different podcast.
That's a different debate for another day.
That's a whole different show.
This is a wrestling podcast. Well, wrestling radio show, I should say.
Exactly, we're live, pal.
We're live, pal. So yeah, that's what's going on with SmackDown. They're getting some mad money right now. And now the rumor as well is if Raw is able to triple their value, if they're able to triple their value, they could reach upwards of $600 million just off of TV rights alone.
Exactly.
Now, another thing before we head to a commercial break, a lot of concern is, well, now they're just loaded up on money. Does Vince McMahon just rest even more on his laurels? You know what I mean? Because is he just going to be like, well, I've made my money, And it's not like he's just going to totally shut down the product, but is he just going to be like, well, I don't have to go, even more than I have to. You know what I mean? I've already made the money, and I've got it for 5 years.
I think we have to see what happens to Raw first in order to get a final verdict, because you also have to look at what's on SmackDown, and we all know Vince was really on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns isn't on SmackDown, so therefore, by that logic, Roman Reigns is not worth $1 billion. Right. But if there's a deal that's bigger out there, and Vince puts those two and two together, Roman Reigns is worth $8 billion.
Wow.
I'm not going to stop pushing him now, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. But I think there's, I mentioned this on Twitter yesterday, or when did that deal announce? A couple days ago.
Monday.
Monday. And I mentioned on Twitter, it's like they've got a bigger viewing audience now. Instead of just being on the USA Network, now they're on Fox, right? They're going to be on Fox, and now they've got more eyeballs on that program. And right now, like if we were just to have Raw on the USA Network and SmackDown on Fox, SmackDown would technically be the bigger show. But in terms of just reach of people, but obviously Raw is going to be treated with more importance, and that's where the big money value is going to be in. And it's obviously opened up a lot of other questions, and we're going to actually delve into some of those other questions after we take this quick commercial break. You're listening to Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music.
Everybody, Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and you are listening to Wrestling with Ideas. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here, because everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Because the $1 Million Man always gets his way.
And welcome back inside the CKDJ studios for Wrestling with Ideas, right here on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music. I'm the man they call Gibby, Zach McGibbon, alongside me, the music man, Colin Scully, and of course the man with no excuses, Jonathan Skuce. And before the break, we were talking some television money, television deal rights. We're going to continue on that gravy train because there's a lot to break down.
Absolutely.
This is significant right here because not only does this open up stuff about WWE in terms of like television rights and that sort of stuff, but it has an impact on what it could affect the roster. And what I mean by that is, do you think we'll see talent contracts start to go up in terms of pay? Do you think talent will have that ability to say, you know what, Vince, you are making $600 million a year or whatever off of television, right?
Yeah, and you'd have somebody, let's say, The Miz, for example. He's on SmackDown. He's a big part of SmackDown right now.
Yeah.
And he was when he was there before, which helped hype up to sell SmackDown, I imagine.
Yeah.
Who's to say he doesn't go up to Vince and say, hey, listen, this $2 million or whatever he's making right now,
Yeah.
I just made you $1 billion on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think I should get a cut of it.
Yeah.
Definitely with the top stars of SmackDown, you might
Yeah.
see a little bit of a reaching.
So, and one thing as well that could potentially be, brought up is it's been an issue way before, these television stuff, is the idea that the wrestlers are independent contractors,
Yes,
as opposed to employees, because these guys are still paying for hotels. They're still paying for. I think they'll have their airplane service paid for sometimes, but they have to pay for hotels. They have to pay for their own rental cars. They've got to. They sometimes they have to pay for their own food.
It's life on the road too. It's hard on them.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm not saying I know what it's like, but it's like traveling on the road it's not always that fun. Especially when you're going there and back.
You've heard just recently after their European tour, I've seen a bunch of articles about how exhausted and tired the superstars were after that 2-week European tour.
Oh, yeah, because they're going everywhere. They're going to Germany, then Switzerland, then, England and Sweden and, all those different places.
I was listening to an episode of the Jim Ross Report a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was the aftermath of the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And he had said how he had left on Wednesday morning from Oklahoma City to go, and then he flew. He had one night in between Wednesday and Saturday of hotel sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest was like, I think he said it was something stupid, like 36 hours flight time or something like that.
Yeah.
Total.
It's crazy. Like the travel is crazy. So now with this increased money, the issue of the independent contractor kind of comes back into play in terms of, are these guys actually independent contractors or are they employees under WWE? Because technically an independent contractor, obviously they're not going to work for anybody else if WWE is the big guy.
Yeah.
And the WWE is going to be like, oh, well, we need you. But, they control where they want their sponsorships from. They control them in terms of, when and how often they want them. That sounds more like an employee to me.
Yeah, but you also have to look at people like Rey Mysterio and Chris Jericho who have recently been in WWE and out at their own will. And
Yeah, but those are like unique cases overall.
Guys like
though,
Pete Dunne too.
Well, that's what I also wanted to bring up is the whole UK division, how they're allowed to be in the UK at indie shows. Of course, it has to be pre-approved by WWE, I believe, of course. But
and I don't even think Vince is overlooking that. That's more of a Triple H call.
Yeah, but there is, and the more we see Triple H getting closer to office, which who knows after this money that Vince made.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we see more of that, we could see more like the UK division being able to perform at UK indies and stuff.
So I mean, it's just that's just the issue to me. It's just like the idea of what's an independent contractor and what's a employee. And, you know, you'll always hear people say wrestlers have got to unionize, which will not happen.
I don't.
I would be shocked, but I think they at least have to fight for some sort of autonomy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if you're going to call me an independent contractor, you should at least allow them to go out and seek sponsorships.
And it's not like it's the old school days of WWE, WCW either, where there's a lot of smoke and mirrors when you're reaching out to other companies.
Yeah. But even then, like the contracts, I believe, I mean, I could be completely wrong here, but they're Time Warner contracts, right?
Yeah.
So I think they were technically employees, as far as I know.
Oh, absolutely, and that's why
I don't know. This is just something off the top of my head.
But it was a contract that's signed. Like if you're, let's say, Finn Balor, you have a contract to WWE,
right?
So that makes you an employee.
Yeah, but he's also an independent contractor technically.
He
signs an independent contractor's contract. So it's just weird things like that WWE likes to do. And of course now there's more money in play, so people will.
Their stock went up.
Their stock is through the roof right now. They are currently like, let me search up the WWE stock as of Wednesday, as we're recording this show, and I believe the stock market has closed by the time we're recording this. So the WWE stock is currently at $57.21, and it's just been shooting up like a rocket these past couple days. Over the past 5 days, 5 days ago it was at 50-50 on May 17th, and that was and that was the first time that WWE had ever reached $50 on the stock price on a share, and now they're at 57.21. And at one point, they were so close to hitting 60, it wasn't even funny. It's like they are doing...
Financially, they're doing well.
They are not hurting whatsoever. Now another... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, we're talking about all of this money that they're making. How much are they actually bringing home?
Well, in terms
what are their profit numbers like?
Well, that will probably be revealed in the next quarter.
Okay.
But... if they were just to go stick with their own production trucks and that sort of stuff, their profits are going up. Right. I think they would generally get like, you know, a quarter, like 20, 30 million profit, depending on how things are going. I could be completely wrong. This is just off the top of my head. But they're definitely bringing a lot of, they're not hurting.
No.
Right.
They are definitely not hurting.
They're not Impact.
Yeah, they're not. They are not Impact Wrestling, as you noted.
Oof.
But,
I say as I'm wearing an Impact Wrestling T-shirt.
Yeah, I know, but that's the ironic part there.
Man.
Now, there's something else I wanted to bring up about this TV deal, because there's just a lot that opens this up, right? We mentioned Raw in terms of what...
What does NXT do?
NXT is a network exclusive, is it not?
Yeah, NXT is a WWE network exclusive, and they're trying to make more of their money on live. They're more of an attraction for, like, because they know that the internet hardcore wrestling fans will probably subscribe to the network to watch NXT. That's why Triple H makes these big, signings, right?
So is NXT sort of what WWE used to be, which is more of a live event attraction versus now WWE? Now WWE's more focused on the television.
I wouldn't really call NXT a live event attraction.
Well, just more so
because whenever they do have a live event, it sells out and it's packed. And look at even NXT at Download Festival for the UK tournament. Yeah, that's a live event. Yeah. But mostly NXT is just broadcast on the network, and that's like the only place you can see it.
Yeah, and it's NXT's tend to be a money loser.
Yes.
But really the reason why they are okay with that is they see that as like developing the future. You know what I mean? Like developing the future wrestlers. So they're technically a money loser. Like the Performance Center, they're still trying to recuperate funds from that, but they see it as an investment, right?
Yeah.
A long-term investment where in the end they're going to get some big stars out of it. I mean, and they can hype up that Roman Reigns came from the Performance Center, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
It's like, they have something to advertise there for. And I guess the one last thing I want to bring up with this television deal is I think it also shows as well that WWE is no longer about, obviously there's the guy Roman Reigns, but they really don't need Roman Reigns or a guy. Obviously they'll need one to have a lead story and keep people going in.
Seth Rollins.
Well, hopefully, but it's somebody who can draw as well, right? And
Seth Rollins.
But I think it just proves that there's more to WWE than ratings.
Yes.
I think a lot of people were hanging on to the fact that ratings were dropping and they were not going to get these big deals. But obviously, WWE is more than just ratings.
They've been alluding to that too, especially when you watch a Raw or a SmackDown these days. Instead of saying that how many ratings they raked in that last week, they'll tell you that they have the most subscribed YouTube channel, or the WWE Network has surpassed this many subscribers.
They're no longer a wrestling company. They're a media company.
Yes.
They produce media.
And that's... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, back when I was talking about how NXT... When I said that they were a live event attraction, it's just more so, not necessarily that they're a live event attraction, but it's just the fact that you can view them only on the WWE Network, or if you go to the shows, that makes them that much more special.
They're like a specialty
almost.
show.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is what I think WWE used to be back in like the early 90s, late 80s type of deal.
Yeah, where they just kind of like were running, like they were taking out the territories and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And, no, I can see that.
How long is it before you see NXT, like, with their own thing, though?
I think they're going to remain on the network unless a company comes in and is like, we're going to pay $100 million.
It'd be
NXT.
huge news if they lost NXT or NXT decided to stand alone for something.
Yeah, it's like if a TV company though came up and said, hey, we're going to pay you $50 million or $100 million for NXT, they would take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
because that way you could make up some of that loss that they're...
Exactly, but they're going to try and keep it just for NXT. But going back to that media company standpoint, it's not just about ratings anymore.
No.
It's not just about, how many people are watching our television show. It's more, how much content can we produce and distribute among the most amount of people. So that's where you get the network. Their YouTube channel obviously is growing, and they're making a lot of money.
Their shows, their custom shows for the network, like your Total Bellas and so on.
The custom shows that they produce. Total Bellas is a great example.
Do you want to talk about it?
The rumors of the UK having the WWE UK division having their own television show.
Please, God,
which would be really cool.
Please.
And if they're able to work something out with that, WWE is going to be really good for the next couple of years.
See that's a good opportunity to do like a WWE Goes Progress or something like that.
You never know.
Like a WWE versus Progress.
That'd be cool. Event. That'd be a cool thing to promote.
Could you imagine a guy like Doug Williams on WWE television?
That'd be something. We're already seeing Danny Burch, so
yeah,
there you go.
We saw the back of Matt Riddle's head on the WWE YouTube channel this week.
Yeah, you were hyped up.
I popped. I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
I like Matt Riddle. But it's more a media company now. They're just producing content. They have to produce as much content as they can, and that's why they're longer shows, 3-hour shows, 2-hour shows.
And that's the recently been discussed, the extending the length of the pay-per-views and stuff like that too.
Because they see it as content.
Yes.
And the more content, the better, right?
Exactly.
And they're trying to target more of their hardcore audience because they're the ones that pay, and now they're getting these higher revenue stuff because they're proving to these advertisers like, hey, we've got a paying fan base here. You got to really pay money to get into this, and that's why you're seeing more advertisers like a Snickers.
Yeah.
Like you see Snickers, whatever.
KFC, big one.
Yeah, exactly. Like you see a bunch of these bigger brands going into the WWE sort of retrospective. So again, they're a media company now. They produce content. One last thing before we head to commercial. I will say, though, this is a bubble.
Yes.
This is very much a bubble. And I'm concerned on how badly this could pop. Because this is very much like this has all the tricks, all the patterns of a bubble. These networks, these television networks are paying huge money for these live streaming events. And the reason why they're doing it is because they see it as their future in terms of surviving. Because obviously Netflix, Hulu, the other big streaming services, they've got a hold on on-demand content and saying, hey, I'm willing to watch that later. So now they're trying to get a hold of the live element of television to try and stay alive. And that's why they're shelling out big money. But I'm just worried. that this bubble's really going to pop. So when the next cycle of television deal negotiations go through, can WWE get that $200 million a year deal for SmackDown again?
Good luck.
Or will they have to go back down to a 150 or a 180 because that's going to be a loss? Now, obviously, WWE won't be worried about that for a while, right? Like they know they probably know they're in a bubble right now, but they're going to enjoy it, ride this bubble while it lasts. So the bubble blowing baby clubs or whatever.
After this past Monday's Raw, that bubble might pop sooner than expected.
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about that Lashley and Zayn segment. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, of course, Lashley and Zayn, the segment that's got everybody talking and proving why WWE deserves that $1 billion deal for SmackDown.
Because you don't have Lashley and Zayn.
Exactly. And some more, including a secret segment that only I and Colin know, but Mr. Skuce does not know. This is going to be a very entertaining segment of the show. You're listening to Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music.
American males, American males, American males, American males.
I'm buff on the stuff and the girls just can't get enough.
Hey, this is Buck Bagwell, and you're listening to Wrestling with Ideas.
And welcome back inside the CKDJ studios for Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music. I'm the man they call Gibby, Zach McGibbon, alongside me, of course, the music man, Colin Scully, and the man with no excuses, Jonathan Skuce. And we're going to talk what happened on Raw and SmackDown, but we're going to talk about something that everybody's really talking about. That Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn segment that many are saying is the worst WWE segment of the year so far.
I would go so far as to call it one of the top 5 worst Raw segments of at least the 21st century.
Of at least the 21st century.
At least.
And there was a lot of bad segments on Raw, so that's saying a lot.
Bailey, this is your life.
Bailey, that just happened last year. Wasn't it the same day or at least around that same day that that Bailey This Is Your Life segment took place last year?
Yeah, it was just about the same time because they were amping up that kendo stick on a pole match,
which ended up being nothing.
Yeah.
So whatever, right? That's how WWE focuses on it. But let's you watch this segment, Skuce. Give us a play-by-play.
Well, first of all, we are introduced, much to the pleasure of everybody, actually. This is where the segment was the hottest, was when Sami Zayn came out. And I think that they were just pumped for Sami Zayn because they knew that it was the middle of the show and that we could get this segment out of the way as quickly as possible. We have Sami Zayn come out. They do a recap of Bobby Lashley talking about his sisters. They go into detail of all three, about the one who chased him with the broom, the one who tied him up in the forest, and the one who gave him the scar next to his eye. And then we have Sami Zayn say, Lashley's sisters, come on down to the ring. And this is where everything went down. Because the first thing you could notice is that all of Bobby's Lashley's sisters were men.
Oh, yeah?
They were men. One had a great big mustache. I think they were independents from the area that they had.
2 of them at least. Well, the 2 that had their identities, one of them was off of the independent scene, and then I think one of them, Mr. Francis. I could say Mr. Francis because it's not Mrs. Francis. Mr. Francis was off of Create-A Pro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually, I think one of them was from Grimm's Toy Show.
Ooh.
On the YouTube
right.
show. So.
On the YouTube.
And
I'm hip.
Yeah.
I'm hip.
I'm hip, pal.
I'm totally hip, pal.
But what wasn't hip...
Are you tragically hip, though?
No, I'm not tragically.
What wasn't hip was, the men coming out in women's clothing and acting, pretending to be Bobby Lashley's sisters. And To be honest, I was really not paying attention to what was going on in the ring. I was paying attention to the crowd to see how they reacted to this.
The crowd was dead.
And exactly, the crowd was dead.
The silence was deafening.
They didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
And you could tell at the point in the end when Sammy was interviewing all the sisters to get their opinions on Lashley and what he had said, that Sami Zayn knew that this segment wasn't going anywhere. And you could tell that he was speeding up his promo, trying to get to the point where Lashley came out, and evidently bumped everybody. Everybody got attacked by Lashley.
Yeah.
But you could tell that right as soon as Sami Zayn got the microphone after interviewing one of the sisters, that he was speeding things up, trying to get this over with, because the crowd was having none of it.
Yeah.
And well, none of the men who portrayed Lashley's sisters should have had a microphone in the first place.
Oh my God, they couldn't. These guys, which is shocking because one of them is from Grimm's Toy Show.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, isn't the YouTube channel supposed to be entertaining? In some form.
In some form, yes.
But of course, none of these, like, if there was some sort of an element of an entertainment, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, putting the E back in WWE, you know, I think this segment could have been saved, but literally, like, none of these sisters, quote unquote, brought anything to the table. And I don't know what the joke is. Is the joke that it's, oh my gosh, it's men in drag?
And there's only one person laughing at that, and that's Vince in his office. They're men!
Exactly. And they just signed a $1 billion deal.
Yeah, but not for that show.
Yeah, not for that show, clearly. That we all know the money's in SmackDown, apparently.
Right. But, The Miz is on SmackDown.
The Miz is on SmackDown.
Miz and Aiden English are the money on SmackDown.
They are the money.
And back to the Raw segment that nobody wants to talk about. The whole time I was watching this thing unfold before my eyes, watching Lashley throw the men dressed as his sisters around, I was thinking to myself, what could somebody like a Mike Bennett or a Kurt Hawkins do with this TV time? Because I can almost guarantee if you gave this for even a match between the two of them, the two big jobbers that nobody cares about, and Raw, Mike Bennett and Kurt Hawkins could have at least put on a match that would have gotten some effect on the crowd.
Yeah.
As opposed to this big nothing that should get Benoit as soon as possible.
Wow. That is intense. Wow.
It should be forgotten, especially because if they're trying to make Bobby Lashley the next big contestant for Lesnar, you don't want them to remember.
That's not happening anymore. After this, that is not. I am sorry.
This is the shovel on that berry right there. Is that segment?
Yeah, that's the golden shovel. Oh my goodness. So the segment last week with Bobby Lashley's sisters and him just being like, oh, those three sisters, they used to bait me around or whatever. I was like, okay, I don't know where this is going, but let's give it a shot. And then we get this. It's like, oh.
This is straight to mid-card for Bobby Lashley.
This had all the work to be the worst segment of the year. Like, everyone was like, oh, but Sami Zayn will make it work. It's like, did you?
I said that Sami could make it work, but...
Does everybody have short-term memory? Were we not saying the same thing about Alexa Bliss last year with Bayley? Does anybody have a brain? Like, this is why WWE doesn't listen to us. Because it's always like, you can't save just bad storytelling. No. You can't.
And this isn't Road Dogg's booking.
Anyway, so, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I wasn't. I don't know, man. This whole thing really just annoys me to the point where I had texted you, John, after the show, and I was like, stuff like this made me question my will to be a wrestling fan.
Wow.
In general.
This stuff does make you think long and hard, but then the segment after it, you should clean stuff up.
Yeah.
The whole but after this, like
this is where it was a if you took that whole segment out, I would have given this Raw like maybe a 6 or a 7 rating.
Yeah.
But it never really picked up after that segment. It was just stale.
Yeah, it was stale, all right. Yeah. So I mean that segment, it was deflating. Tom Brady. Deflating. Oh, yeah. I guess you heard Scuce's reaction there. Wow.
Yeah, it should be forgotten.
That was intense.
I do apologize for the harshness, WWE, but if you can black something out like that quickly, you may as well do it on a couple of segments from the past couple of years, including this one.
Exactly. Well, with that, I think we're going to take a breather. Let's bring it over to Colin Scully's interview with Mark AP. Of course, They Live taking place this Friday at St. Anthony's Hall. Tickets are still available as we're recording this. So definitely head down to a C4 wrestling show. Those are some fun shows.
No, they will not be available at the door.
Yeah, exactly.
On
so you
Friday
got
night. So you got to make your way down to, I believe it's Odds and Sods. Still have some.
Yep.
Vertigo Records.
There's
the venue itself have some
very
tickets.
little. Very, very little. So you gotta go get your tickets quick. It's gonna be a fun show. So Colin talked to Mark AP, creator and booker of C4 Wrestling, about where the promotion is going, why they made the change.
Kind of went through each match on the card. Full card was actually announced today.
Yes.
So
today as in Wednesday.
Today as in Wednesday. So
yes.
Yesterday.
It was announced yesterday, as you're hearing this, or however many. If you're listening to this on demand, it was like May 23rd. So there you go. With that, we'll take the quick commercial break. You're listening to Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 107.9 Ottawa Studio.
What's up? It's Sheldon Jean, and you're listening to Wrestling with Ideas.
Welcome back inside the CKDJ studios for Wrestling with Ideas here on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music. I am the music man, Colin Scully, and on the phone with me today, making his return to Wrestling with Ideas, we have C4 creator and booker Mark AP. Mark, how's it going?
Good to be back.
Yeah, eh? All right, so this Friday marks new territory, uncharted territory almost, if you want to call it, for C4.
To say the least, yes.
To say the least, yeah. You've been for a while. You had been at the Vanier Columbus Club, but those days are over, and now it's time to move to St. Anthony's Hall.
Yes, basically, we've been our home base since 2007 was the Knights of Columbus on MacArthur Avenue. We had a great relationship with them, and unfortunately, it's by no choice of our own or theirs. That relationship had to come to an end just solely because the building was sold and they don't have a new venue lined up. So we had to move out of the neighborhood. It's too bad. Vanier has its charm.
Right.
And we were happy to be a part of that community. And it's unfortunate that we've had to move away from there. However, for the last 2 years, people have been saying, we need a bigger venue, C4 needs a bigger venue, you need to move up. And my argument had always been, we've got a great venue here. I'd rather pack this place than go to an arena and have half the crowd.
Exactly.
Or not half the crowd, but have 500 people in a space that holds over 1,000 people, and it looks empty. And then beyond that, Ottawa doesn't have a lot of mid-sized venues.
Right.
Look at why most bands skip Ottawa. There's nothing for that 800 to 1,500 people.
Right.
Well, very, very few places that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg if you do want to run there. So anyways, we've worked out a relationship with St. Anthony's Hall in the heart of Little Italy, not minutes from downtown. Super accessible. But, St. Anthony's Hall on Preston, or off of Preston. Preston, the 417 is technically on St. Anthony's Street, I believe. But it's the only thing on St. Anthony Street.
Yeah.
But it's Preston and the 417 essentially.
Right.
We're super excited to be working with them. We've got we've lined up our dates for the next while, so hopefully we've got a new home. And 10 years or more, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
We are certain.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we certainly approached this as we wanted a new home, not just a place where we were going to run a show and then scramble to find a new venue.
Right.
We wanted somewhere where fans could consistently rely on us to be, and that is our hope with St. Anthony's Hall.
Right. So getting into some of the card here, you've got to, as someone who has honestly been introduced Because I've only been doing a show, like this is more or less just over 2 months since I got behind the microphone for the first time, actually.
Yeah.
And it's also been 2 months since I was introduced to the world of sort of indie wrestling and Ottawa wrestling here.
Okay, awesome.
There are some names on the card here that I recognize from when I first got into indie wrestling here. So with those guys being Sheldon Jean, obviously, because I sat in on the interview with Gibby and them a couple of weeks ago. And then there's Eli Everfly, Kobe Durst.
Yeah.
LAX. LAX is a very interesting one.
Yeah. Go ahead, but I'll answer that, no problem.
Yeah, so we'll go sort of match by match if you want, and then talk more about it. So the first match on the card, we've got the 6-man tag team match between High and Mighty and retrosexual Anthony Green versus a couple of dicks and Tyson Dukes.
It's an odd pairing, but I think it'll be
which
a very
which pairing?
match.
Oh, the pairing of the 6 guys, yeah.
Dukes and Dicks.
Yeah.
Interesting team. Tyson's sort of a man without a country in C4, and he wants to be on the show. And Nix and
Justice
Dick were both looking for a partner, and so hey, we gave him Dukes. Tyson, for those who've been following the product, essentially turned his back on C4 at the end of last season and aligned himself with Twiggy, Frankie the Mobster, or Beast King FTM, and Evil Uno. And then eventually Kobe Durst, and then found himself on the outs of that group. He has not been heard from since, and this is being his first match back. And who knows what will happen in this one.
Well, that'll be interesting for sure. Next up, we've got the 6-man scramble between Wheeler Yuta, Brute Van Slyke, Brett Banks, Mark Wheeler, Sheldon Jean, and MVP. Now, Brute Van Slyke is somebody that I've sort of found online as well. He's another one of the American names that you've got coming in for the show, right?
Yeah, he's the Messiah of old school.
Yeah.
He's a throwback to an era that doesn't really exist anymore. He's Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader rolled into one with a Jim Cornette mind. So that's kind of scary. But
just a little bit.
He can eat a lot of DQ as well. But the it's going to be a wild match. It's going to be high flying and hard hitting. You got someone like Wheeler Yuta, who is a standout on the American indie scene right now.
Yeah.
The only time he's ever appeared in C4 was about 3 seasons ago during a pre-show match, and since then he's come miles and miles.
Yeah.
He is doing really good, doing really well in Beyond Wrestling and doing some work with Major League Wrestling.
Oh, right.
But,
yeah.
Wheeler Yuta is doing very good for himself. You got Brent Banks, who any match you put him in, he'll almost steal the show. He's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best athletes in professional wrestling in Canada. Banks is fantastic. He could easily win this one. Mark Wheeler, he has issues with MVP and Sheldon Jean heading into this one, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with those 3.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a really entertaining match.
With Sheldon Jean turning at End of Days, it'll be definitely interesting to see what his relationship with the other 5 guys that are in the match is going to be like.
We'll have to certainly wait and see on Friday and see what happens.
Yeah, yes. Moving on to the special challenge match, you've got the Fraternity versus LAX. Now, LAX, do you know offhand if they're going to be bringing the World Championships, the Impact World Championships, to St. Anthony's?
They have in previous times. However, I don't know if they are currently on TV champions.
They are.
Where they are they? Okay, I wasn't sure if they had just won them at the taping.
No.
Or if they've actually won back the title on TV yet.
Spoiler alert.
I'm sorry.
No. Don't worry about it. No.
But, I assume they have in the past.
Yeah.
But LAX is a team that they've been working with us for years, back when they were known as EYFBO.
Right.
On the East Coast indie scene, and they started coming up for us and working their butts off, and they've developed into, in my opinion, one of the best tag teams in the world right now.
Right.
And Impact's given them the platform to showcase that on an international level.
Right.
And I couldn't be happier for them. And they haven't forgot what we've done for them in the past, and they love coming back to Ottawa whenever they can.
Right. So it doesn't look like they will be bringing the belts. Is the episode like they right now, like on paper, they're paper champions? But
it's complicated, I know.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'll never understand about Impact. Anyways, Moving on to the first time ever between Mathieu Saint-Jacques, one half of TDT, Tabarnak de Team, versus Josh Briggs. Now, Mathieu Saint-Jacques, when I had first interviewed Ben Tull, I think it was a couple of weeks ago for my show, there was a match that had come up at FLQ's Roof Mania between Tabarnak de Team and Montreal Elite with Ben Tull and Brad Alexis. There was a spot in the match where Mathieu Saint-Jacques had taken Brad Alexis and had gorilla pressed him from the second level of the venue into the ring. Has Mathieu Saint-Jacques been this insane at C4 shows before?
Oh, totally. I mean, Mathieu Saint-Jacques is the longest reigning champion in C4 history. He held it for over 2 years, only dropping in September to Kobe Durst. And during that reign, he went nuts every time out. And even without the championship, he's gone nuts every time out.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt that he's going to be bringing the usual Mathieu Saint-Jacques insanity on Friday night. And Josh Briggs is somebody he's going places pretty quickly. He just signed a contract with Evolve.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's only been in the business for less than 2 years, I believe.
Wow.
He's going places quickly, and I think this match is going to be one of the show stealers for sure.
For sure. Going on to the tag team grudge match, one of the matches let's say 2 or 3 matches that I'm excited for the most. You've got Evil Uno and the Beast King FTM against Stu Grayson and Vanessa Craven. Now,
yes. Sorry, ask your question.
No. Now, with Vanessa Craven teaming up with Stu Grayson, is this a pairing that is... have they paired up before?
They have aligned this season.
Okay.
Again, this is coming out of last June at the season finale. It was Mathieu Saint-Jacques versus Stu Grayson versus Thomas Dubois in the 3-way for the C4 championship. After that match, all of them were attacked by Uno, Tyson Dukes, FTM, and Twiggy.
Mm-hmm.
This comes out of the last year of that rivalry that's engulfed many other talents, including Vanessa Craven. If you're at our April show, which you can watch now at powerbomb.tv with promo code C4 Canada to watch for free, you can see April's show End of Days on there, and that main event was the last battle of Vanier, which had everybody who'd been feuding with Twiggy and Durst and Uno and FTM getting their chance against them. However, the one person who was not present was Vanessa Craven, and she was serving a suspension, a one-show suspension. So she's getting her opportunity to get her hands on both Uno and FTM, who both have taken every opportunity to assault her and beat her down over the last year, and I think she's looking for revenge.
Right. Now, with Vanessa Craven competing as, if I'm not mistaken, she is the only woman on the card, if I'm correct.
I believe so, yes. This show she is, yes.
So, with the rise in intergender wrestling coming on the independent scene, how long do you think it is before we see something like almost like an intergender championship in somewhere like WWE?
I don't think you'll truly see that in WWE because they shy away from male and female violence. I mean, they've touched on it with the mixed tag challenge, but even those, I didn't see any of it, but from what I understand, the rules were male on male, female on female.
Right.
They can get around it like they did with the Rousey tag at Mania.
Right.
But those are almost always going to be a position of the female is in charge over the male.
Right.
At this point, I don't believe you're going to see full-on intergender matches.
Right.
I could see a mixed tag championship or something along those lines down the road. But you're not going to see what you can see on the indie level, which is full-on intergender matches where the two equal opponents can go at each other without the limitations of being concerned about what a publicly traded company can show on television.
Right. And that's one of the things that I like about the indie wrestling scene more, is that it's not focused on male versus female. It's just focused on wrestling as well. Like, it doesn't matter who.
The focus of C4 is and always has been to put on the best show possible.
Right.
Since day one, that's been our goal. And that's what has built our audience up, is putting on the best show we can put on for that audience.
Right.
And current and taste and whatever trends are out there and people are looking for, it's going to make its way into C4. Although Vanessa Craven, since our second anniversary show 8 years ago, she's been competing against men in C4.
Okay.
So it's really nothing new for her. She's always been, she has wrestled women's matches, but 95% of the time she spent in C4 has been against an opponent of the opposite sex.
Right. Okay. So I know we don't have too much more time, so let's just quickly go over.
No problem.
Yeah, let's go over the last couple of matches here. We got Ben Tull, who is the current C4 Underground champion, defending his title against Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson.
Two hosses who are gonna beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Both with something to prove. Tull, this is, believe it or not, his only third match in C4.
Okay.
And it's his second. It's his first defense. So he had one match, then won the Underground Championship, and this is his first defense.
Okay.
So he's still got he's got to prove himself still in C4. He's been around. He's been wrestling for over 15 years, and he comes out of that same pool of talent that produced the guys like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. He comes from that crop, and he's finally breaking out of the Quebec scene. And I think he's going to use this match as an opportunity to get eyeballs on him. And I think Dirty Daddy is not going to be looking to be taken lightly at all.
No.
So it's going to be a match that's going to be remembered.
Oh, for sure. Now, the match that everybody's been talking about for this upcoming show on Friday. We've got the main event 4-way dance, no DQ, no countout. I'm assuming it's for the championship.
It is for the championship.
It is for the championship.
And as tradition, all C4 title matches have been no DQ, no countout.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
They're not the winner. That's how it's always been.
Ben Tull in a no DQ, no countout. This should be fun. Yeah. So for the C4 championship, we've got the current champion Diamond Tiger Kobe Durst versus Matt Angel versus Walking Weapon Josh Alexander versus the Fly Eli Everfly. Now, Matt Angel and Eli Everfly have definitely been making a name for themselves over the course of the past couple of months on the indie scene. Then
for sure,
the first real match, the first real thing that comes up to me is Mania weekend. There was Joey Janela's Spring Break 2 when they were both there.
Matt Angel was not at Spring Break. No.
Was he not?
No, he's
not.
my
mistake. Okay, well, Eli was.
Yes, he was.
And Eli definitely had a very good showing at that match. But in the 4-way, what are we going to expect from this?
I mean, you got Matt Angel, who's been on a crazy rise within C4 and all of Quebec for the last few months. He got an incredible match with David Starr back in March. He overcame Simon Grimm in April, and then later that night was selected by TDT and Stu Grayson to team up with them in the main event. And he's quickly won over lots of fans and impressed management tremendously. And he's been given an opportunity against Kobe Durst for that C4 championship. Eli Everfly out of California has been working very hard for the last few years, and in the last year or so, he's really started breaking out. This will be his Canadian debut. He frequently competes for Game Changer Wrestling, which is where you would have seen him at Janelle's Spring Break event. He recently as well debuted for PWG in California. He's a guy who really, watching him compete reminds me personally anyways of 1996 Rey Mysterio.
Right.
You really see that crisp, high flyer guy who's in 5 years where he's going to be insane if he keeps on the trajectory he's on. Josh Alexander in that mix is a C4 veteran. He's a former C4 champion. He's no nonsense. He's not looking to do pretty moves. He's looking to wreck those guys in the match. And he's had incredible showings over the last year with matches against Keith Lee, Teddy Hart, LAX, among others. And his style will be different than the others in there, but he's looking to win that championship. And then you got Kobe Durst defending his championship. This is, as far as all of us can tell, he'll be without Twiggy, without any of his outside assistants.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what Kobe Durst can do without having someone watch his back. That said, he did win the C4 championship from Matthew St. Jacques back in September without interference and shocked everybody. So there's really no reason why anyone should underestimate Kobe Durst, but when you got 3 opponents like he has, it's going to be interesting.
For sure. Now, I've done a couple of interviews with wrestlers that are going to be on this card. And I've asked them this question here, and I figure I would ask you as you're the creator and the booker. As someone who's never been to a C4 show before, but is going to be going to his first show, not only as a fan, but also as a member of the ring crew, what am I to expect at this C4 show?
Hopefully the best live wrestling experience you've ever had.
All right.
And hopefully the most exciting live event that you've seen in Ottawa.
Okay.
It will be a little less crazy than Vanier, but I think that craziness will be saved for inside the ring as opposed to brawling from one side of the building to the other.
Fair.
And I think it's going to be a stacked show. There's 2 more matches that were announced this morning that didn't get on here. And that's Thomas Dubois versus Kyle the Beast, KTB, as well as the C4 Tag Team Championship match between Fight or Flight versus Heavy Metal Chaos. If Fight or Flight loses, they must disband as a team. So it's a stacked show. You're in for 3+ hours of just action and excitement and a good time. I always say, for people who've never been, there's 2 types of people in Ottawa: C4 fans and those who haven't been yet.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you've never been and you consider yourself a wrestling fan, come out on Friday night.
Yeah.
$20. You won't regret it. I guarantee it. You won't regret it. It's going to be so much fun. The hardest part of getting people out to C4 show is literally just getting them out. Once you come, you will be a fan, and you will come back month after month.
Yeah, and I think the move to St. Anthony's Hall is definitely going to help get more people out, because I believe for most people, like out my way in Barhaven, it's going to be more accessible to go.
It certainly is. The 85 runs right in front of the venue.
Okay.
It's the 85 runs until well past midnight, right literally on Preston Street, right in front of the venue.
Sounds good. All right.
There's parking. There's both. St. Anthony's has a lot, not the same size as venue, but it has a decent sized parking lot.
All right.
Across the street from the venue, it's a pay lot that's for the adult high school. That after 6 p.m. on Fridays is only $2 for the night.
Oh, yeah.
So plus there's street parking. So it's super accessible. It's super centrally located. There's tons of places to go and eat before and after the show. You have more options than you had on MacArthur, certainly. And I think it's going to be a really good time, and I really hope we see some new fans. The venue's slightly bigger, so we can hopefully, as we were drawing about 500 Vanier and have to turn away 50 or 60 people, all those people can fit in comfortably this time. So hopefully everybody and more shows up and welcomes us to Little Italy.
For sure. Mark AP, thank you so much for calling into the show today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'll see you out on Friday night at C4's They Live. They're making their debut at St. Anthony's Hall. Definitely a stacked card. You want to go to see this. You can also come in and check out and see me at Ring Crew, working my butt off and not knowing what I'm doing. That's a story for a different time. Mark, thanks for calling in, man. Have a good one.
No problem.
You know it's the Mac Militant. Coming to get it on.
Hey, what's up, players? This is Teddy Long, and I want you to know you're listening to the greatest wrestling show in all of the world. CKDJ 107.9. Holla, holla, holla. Wrestling with ideas, players. Make sure you tune in, and that's real talk.
Welcome back inside the CKDJ studios for Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music. I'm the man they call Gibby, Zach McGibbon, and of course alongside me, the music man, Colin Scully, and the man with no excuses, Jonathan Skuce. And that's going to do it for the show. But we're going to end things off on a high note. This is a special segment. You do not know what's going on, Skuce.
No, I have no idea what's going on.
So
I'm being ribbed.
Yeah, you're being ribbed. This is the ultimate rib right now. So here we go. I have in front of me, this is all real, by the way. This is real. Remember Ryback?
I remember Ryback.
You remember Ryback? Well, that's good, because Ryback has joined Airbnb.
What?
He has. And guess what he is doing right now? He is selling the Feed Me More Townhouse of Positivity. This is all real.
Oh, I thought that was the New Day's gimmick.
No. This is
It's like a collaboration between Ryback and the New Day.
This is the Feed Me More Townhouse Positivity, and I'm going to read to you what this house is. It's a townhouse. Enjoy the beautiful city of Las Vegas from the heart of Aliante in North Las Vegas. Located 25 minutes north of the Strip and perfect for families and guests looking to stay away from the Strip but still close enough to enjoy Las Vegas. It is located 45 minutes from Red Rock Canyon with a community pool and spa. Restaurants, grocery stores, and gyms are all within a 3-mile radius, and upon booking, guests will be given a smart key via the August app. The space. This fully furnished townhouse is spacious and will have you feeling comfortable while away from home. Positive images and quotes surround this beautiful home and has everything you need to feel at home during your stay. Cable and Wi-Fi included, along with an office space for work if needed. Washer, dryer, laundry room available in the house, and a nice pool and spa directly behind the townhouse. Interaction with guests. Any questions or concerns, and I am readily available via text, email, or by phone. You could actually text Ryback.
How you doing?
Other things to note, it's got a 2-car garage attached to the house for up-close parking, as well as parking spaces next to the property. Now, I'm going to read to you the Ryback rules.
Oh, it's not John Cena's house?
No, it's Ryback rules. No smoking.
Oh.
Not suitable for pets.
Oh.
No parties or events. Check-in time is flexible. Check out by 2 p.m. Shoes preferred off in the house, please.
Okay, Ryback. Feed me more.
You must also acknowledge must climb stairs.
Oh, I guess I can't go.
I know. No reviews yet have been given for this Power of Positivity townhouse.
So,
but for $183 Canadian, you can you can stay at the Feed Me More Townhouse of Positivity.
I don't have to stay with Ryback, do I?
No, you see, Ryback is not in the building.
Oh.
You see, it's a separate.
Well, that just ruins everything.
I know. There's a lot of value in it. You do not get to sleep in Ryback's bed. You sleep in a different bed. But I will tell you this right now, looking through the photos, when he says there is quotes everywhere, there is quotes everywhere. Like there is I can't see all the quotes. There's a quote that says ambition. It's a guy on top of an ice mountain with a nice little sectional in there as well. There's also a whatever it takes poster. There's a nice TV with the bed, a nice little shower for your showering needs. There is a hustle mode poster over top the bed.
See, I'm picturing Ryback's, this is Ryback's house. There's just pictures of him on the wall everywhere with the quotes on them. Like he's flexing in a 1 and it just says courage.
There's a great outdoors movie poster.
Oh.
The classic John Candy movie with Dan Aykroyd. What else is here? Another.
Come on, Ryback. Lay it on me.
You get a nice view of the outdoors. Also, there is a cup that says "Feed Me More."
That's what I was waiting for.
There you go. Now, there's a picture of Solo on the TV, but it's in theaters, so watch out for the legalities there.
Ryback getting those special privileges.
There you go. And, of course, more quotes. You got the Feed Me More cup. But, yes, for $183
you end up to 4 other guests.
You went up to 4 other guests, so you can have 5 people.
See, this all doesn't interest me anymore because Ryback's not going to be home.
Ryback is not going to be
If Ryback was there, I might do it. Just wake up and, hey, Ryback, how's it going?
It's feeding time.
You know, the value goes up if Ryback's there.
Oh, of course.
Because he's got to inspire the power of positivity.
Absolutely. With his post, he's probably buying more posters, and that's why he's Airbnb-ing his house. He needs more quotes.
Well, it's not his house. It's
a house.
It's a house. He has been renovating this house, and he's been preparing it for this moment.
There's a show I'd watch. Flip This House with Ryback.
That'd be great. I would pay money to see that.
You just see him breaking through the walls and stuff like that, just walking through them or something.
Could you imagine? It'd be amazing.
It's feeding time.
Oh yeah. So there you go. That's the Feed Me More Townhouse of Positivity.
Who would have more luck with drywall, your leg or Ryback?
Ryback.
Yeah.
One of my legs is probably two of his.
Yeah. I'm doing him an egg.
He's doing me an egg.
And is he going to kick your leg out of your leg?
Yes.
There you go.
And I'm going to get no simpy from Scott Steiner.
There you go. Well, with that, that's going to do it for us here at the CKDJ Studios. Thanks again to Mark AP for the great interview. Again, this Friday at They Live, St. Anthony's Hall, new venue. Go out and support your local independent wrestling, of course. C4 Wrestling always puts on some very good shows. Also, too, if you're outside of the Ottawa area, you could also head down to, if you're actually in the Pembroke area, Great North Wrestling has a show going on there as well. Tony Atlas is on the card. He's going to wrestle.
Oh, he's still going at it?
He's still going at it. He's facing Nathan Banner in a match. So that's going to be something. So if you're all the way out in Pembroke, you're listening to this show out in Pembroke, you got some local wrestling going on there too. And the tickets are cheap at $2 and $5 for those tickets. So that's a good price. So, and also obviously Montreal, Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling, of course, the promotions there. Big Time Pro Wrestling will have a show coming up soon, I believe. Acclaim, of course, will have their show on June 2nd. There's a lot of great local wrestling shows.
Yeah,
so
you can also come to the C4 show you can come to the C4 show this Friday, as well as the June 2nd Acclaim show to meet me.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm going to be working ring crew, but if any of you guys listen for both shows, yeah. If you know who I am,
please don't know where I live though. That'd be a little awkward.
But if you see me and you want to talk about anything, just let me know. And I am not famous enough to say no yet.
Yeah.
So
you're on the Z list.
Yeah, there you go.
You're on the Z list.
It's climbing up the ranks, pal.
There you go. You're moving up from jobber status. Now you're low mid card.
Sweet.
There you go.
Going for that.
No, you're more an opener.
He's going for that light heavyweight championship.
There you go. There you go. Thanks again, everybody. You can listen to Wrestling with Ideas every Thursday on CKDJ 107.9 FM. You can also listen back to older episodes of the show at wrestlingwithideas.podbean.com. You can listen to old episodes, including exclusive interviews with the likes of Jake the Snake Roberts, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Rick Steiner, the current NWA World Champion Nick Aldis, Cody Rhodes from All In, Flip Gordon as well. Hashtag book Flip. For All In.
He's got his chance on June 3rd.
There you go.
Teaming up with Cody's wife.
There you go. And next week, we're going to hopefully get that interview with Ken Shamrock organized. Should be a lot of fun. But until then, guys, have a good one.
You have just listened to the greatest wrestling show on the planet.
If you want to listen to older episodes of the show, including full interviews, make sure you check out Wrestling with Ideas on Podbean and on the Podbean app, or listen to us on our new SoundCloud page. We can also be found on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Player FM, and many more.
Make sure you keep on tuning in every Thursday at 6 p.m. to Wrestle with Ideas.